They pretend they're fine, but if they were, they wouldn't have to prove it. Let that hit. Because real peace doesn't need a spotlight. Real healing doesn't scream through filters and captions. My friends, when someone's truly moved on, they don't have to post about it every 5 minutes. They don't have to laugh extra loud in videos, drop indirect quotes, or show off their new little fling just to get a reaction. They just live. But what you're seeing isn't someone who's over you. What you're seeing is someone desperate to convince you and themselves that they didn't mess up the best thing they ever had. You've seen it. The "look how happy I am without you" content, the subtle jabs in captions, the sudden gym grind, the weekend trips with people who don't even know their middle name. But the truth is loud behind the act. They're hurting. Because people who really move on don't need an audience, but people in pain, people who are drowning in guilt and regret. They perform. They turn their page into a stage and try to make you believe they're thriving, when deep down, they're just surviving without you. Let me tell you what's really going on. Their world is getting quieter. Their new distractions are starting to fade. That better life they keep posting about, it's built on a foundation of denial. And that glow, it's artificial light. They don't shine like you did. Because here's the truth, folks. You were the energy. You were the heartbeat. You were the one who made their boring days feel special. You were the one who checked in, stayed loyal, gave more than they deserved. And what did they do? They treated you like a doormat, like emotional garbage, like someone who would always be there no matter how many times they tossed you to the side. But now, you're not there, and they feel it. They're not posting to celebrate. They're posting to replace the energy you gave so freely, the peace you brought that they never understood until it was gone. But let me make this clear. Your worth isn't tied to the story they're trying to tell the world. Just because they're posting like they're fine doesn't mean they are. Watch what they do, not what they post. Because behind that fake confidence is someone stalking your page at 1 a.m., someone who replays your last message, someone who feels that sick, sinking gut punch every time they see you didn't react. You were once their comfort. Now your silence is their consequence. My friends, don't get played by a highlight reel. Don't let their fake glow-up make you shrink. They didn't move on. They covered up. And that cover, it's cracking. The truth is, they regret it. Every cold reply, every ignored call, every game they played thinking you'd chase forever. But now you've gone silent, and they've started to panic, because you weren't just someone they dated. You were the one, the peace, the mirror, the damn sanctuary. And now they're locked out. So stop wondering if they still think about you. They do. Stop questioning if they miss you. They do. Stop doubting your worth because of the show they're putting on. That show is for you. Because nothing scares someone more than watching the person they once discarded rise without them. Now take a breath, lift your chin, and write this in the comments right now. Their posts don't fool me. Let them see it. Let them feel it. Let it echo through the silence they created. Press the like button, hit subscribe, and stay with me. Because what's coming next? It's the part where their actions start screaming louder than all their pretending ever could. Number 1. Healing doesn't need an audience. Pain does. Healing is quiet, but pain screams for an audience. Let that hit you harder than the fake laugh they posted in that story, because someone who's truly moved on doesn't need a stage. They don't need to throw indirect quotes, forced captions, or half-naked photos just to convince the world they're happy. They just live. But pain is theatrical. Pain wants applause. Pain wants witnesses. And the people who hurt you, the ones who ghosted you, lied to you, replaced you like trash, are not healed. They're hurting. And the show they're putting on, that's not growth. That's damage control. My friends, you've been watching their posts like they hold some kind of truth. You've been dissecting their smiles, the way they're dressing now, the places they're going, asking yourself, do they look happier? Did they find someone better? Was I the problem? And that's the lie pain feeds on, the lie that they're fine without you. But if they were, they wouldn't be trying so hard to make sure you're watching. They wouldn't be performing for the very person they claim to be done with. Read between the lines. Because real healing is done in silence. Real peace doesn't need a status update. Let me break it down for you. The more they post, the more they're pretending. The louder they laugh online, the harder they cry when the screen goes dark. They're not healed, they're haunted. Haunted by the memory of someone who loved them with real presence. Haunted by the guilt they buried under filters and temporary validation. You weren't just someone they dated, you were a mirror, and now they're trying to delete the reflection they destroyed. Think about this. When's the last time you saw someone who's really happy feel the need to prove it to the person they moved on from? That's not happiness. That's desperation. That's regret dressed up like confidence. That's them begging for your reaction because your silence, it's louder than anything they've posted, and that scares them. That eats at them. But here you are, still wondering if they're better off. Still hurting because they seem unbothered, still questioning your worth because their timeline looks put together, and that's where I need to call you out. Stop giving so much power to their performance. Stop letting someone who threw you away like garbage dictate how you see yourself. Stop acting like a doormat in your own mind, just because someone who couldn't handle your light is pretending they're fine in the dark. You forgot something. You were the real thing. You were present, loyal, honest, and they mistook your love for weakness. They called your effort too much. They called your patience clingy. They walked away, thinking they'd be fine, but they were wrong. And now they're scrambling to keep up an illusion, hoping you'll believe they're thriving. But the truth? They're drowning. And the only way they feel in control is by making you doubt your impact. But your impact was never in the likes or the comments or the story views. Your impact was in the way you stayed, the way you forgave, the way you showed up even when they didn't. Your impact is still sitting in their memory, still echoing in the quiet moments, still burning in their chest when they realize you're not coming back. This is where you need to rise, not to get revenge, not to make them watch you heal, but because you're done being the one who bleeds just so someone else can feel whole. You're done waiting for the pain to stop. You're done hoping for the truth to show up in their timeline. The truth is already here. It's in the way they still stalk your page. It's in the way they check who watched their story. It's in the way they post for everyone, but mean it for you. So don't let their pain become your prison. Don't let their act make you forget what you deserve. They didn't move on. They escaped accountability. But healing isn't an escape. It's a transformation. And you're transforming. Quietly, powerfully, without needing applause, without begging for attention, because that's what real peace does. It walks in silence while the world watches in awe. So take a breath. Stop watching them. Start watching you. Look at how far you've come. Look at the strength it takes to not clap back, to not break the silence, to let your distance speak the truth they've been trying to cover up. Write this in the comments right now. Real peace doesn't perform. Say it. Type it. Let it echo through every screen they post on. Let them see it. Let them feel the stillness they'll never get close to again. Show them, show yourself, show the world, and stay with me, because what comes next, it's when they run out of distractions, and your absence finally drowns out all the noise they've been hiding behind. Number 2, performance is a distraction and they're desperate to escape the quiet. They're not posting to show they've healed. They're posting to drown out the silence that's been screaming your name since the moment you walked away. My friends, everything you're seeing right now, the parties, the selfies, the fake little glow-up stories, isn't confidence. It's chaos in disguise. It's desperation wearing lipstick and a fake smile. It's distraction dressed up like peace. Because the second the music stops, the lights dim, the camera's off, and the fake friends go home, they're left alone with the one thing they can't outrun, the sound of their own guilt. See, performance is a drug. It gives them the illusion that they're in control. If they post the right photo, maybe you'll think they're fine. If they show up at the right party, maybe they'll convince themselves they didn't lose something rare. They're not celebrating anything. They're avoiding everything. Avoiding the reflection, avoiding the regret, avoiding the weight of knowing they had something real and treated it like it was disposable. And that silence, that's their enemy now. Because silence doesn't lie. Silence doesn't perform. Silence is where the memories creep in, where the texts they ignored replay in their head, where the things they said, the things they didn't say, haunt them in waves. Every time they put down the phone, their mind picks up the truth. You're not there anymore. And that absence, it's louder than all their shouting. You were the calm in their storm, and now that calm is gone, they're spinning. You were the consistency they never had to earn, the warmth they never had to match, and now that you've pulled it away, they're scrambling for noise, for stimulation, for anything that doesn't feel like regret. But regret doesn't care about distractions. It waits. It builds. It grows in the quiet like a shadow, just out of sight, just under the smile, just behind the laugh. They're not okay. They're just occupied. And there's a difference. Anyone can look like they've moved on when their life is full of distractions. But the real test, it's in the silence. It's in the nights when they lay there staring at the ceiling, wondering if you are thinking about them the way they're thinking about you. It's when their new option doesn't text back, and suddenly they remember how you always did. It's when they realize the people around them now don't understand their pain, don't hold space for their darkness, don't know their soul like you did. But here's where it gets deep. They're not just afraid of silence, they're afraid of what silence says about them, because silence means you're not chasing anymore. It means you're not watching their stories. You're not begging for crumbs. You're not folding for fake peace. And that's terrifying for someone who thought you'd always be available on demand. They counted on your forgiveness. They counted on your softness. They thought they could treat you like a doormat and you'd just keep wiping away their mess. Not anymore. You've gone quiet. You've gone inward. You've stopped playing the game. And in doing so, you've taken away their stage. You've stripped the spotlight. You've forced them to look in the mirror with no audience left to clap for the mask. You see, they didn't fear losing you. They feared losing control over you. And now that you're not reacting, not checking in, not giving them emotional oxygen, they're gasping, because the one thing they can't perform their way out of is the feeling that they messed up something real. The truth? They didn't lose someone average. They lost someone who showed up for their soul, not just their story. And if they're still posting, still performing, still pretending, they haven't healed, because healing doesn't need an audience. Healing happens in the dark, quietly, intentionally, alone. That's what you're doing now. And that's why your peace feels dangerous to them. So don't be fooled by their highlight reel. Don't mistake performance for peace. Don't believe the noise when you know what silence always reveals. You've seen the truth. And now you're living it, calm, clear, untouchable. Write this in the comments right now. Their noise can't silence my peace. Let them see it. Let it echo through every forced post, every fake smile, every party they throw, to bury the pain they never processed. Show them, show yourself, show the world, and stay with me, because what's coming next? It's the moment their own actions betray their mask, and your silence becomes the mirror they can no longer look away from. Number 3, they're not fine. Their behavior betrays them. They said they moved on, but why are they still in your shadow? That's the question, isn't it? They tell the world they're done with you. They act unbothered. They throw shade in vague quotes and smile in pictures that don't match their eyes. But if they've really moved on, why do they still orbit you like a ghost that can't let go? My friends, their behavior doesn't lie, even if their words do. And right now, their actions are screaming what their ego won't admit. They're not fine. Let's be honest. People who are really at peace don't check your page at 2 a.m. They don't watch your stories from burner accounts. They don't scroll through old photos like they're searching for closure in the pixels. And they definitely don't bring you up in every conversation with friends like you still live in their head rent-free. But that's exactly what they're doing, because they're not healed. They're haunted by everything they took for granted, everything they couldn't hold, everything they now know they lost and can't get back. They say they've let go, but they're still looking for signs that you haven't. They're watching your likes, your comments, your moves, hoping to find some proof that you still care, because if you do, it means they still matter. That's not peace. That's panic. That's fear dressed in fake calm. And it's pathetic, really, how they tried to make you feel like you were too much, only to now become addicted to your silence. Watch what they do when they think no one's watching. That's where the truth lives. Not in the captions, not in the carefully edited posts, not in the new situationship they're flaunting for attention. Watch the patterns. Watch how their confidence shakes when you don't respond. Watch how they suddenly post more when you go quiet. That's not someone who's over you. That's someone obsessed with not being forgotten. They're afraid you're healing, afraid you're glowing, afraid that the version of you who cried and begged and waited is gone. And guess what? They should be, because that version of you isn't coming back. You've grown. You've risen. You've stopped begging people to see your value and started becoming someone no one can touch without earning it. They tried to make you think you were disposable, that you were just another phase they could forget. But now that you've gone quiet, they're realizing the truth. You weren't the problem. You were the anchor. You were the one who cared when they were cold. You were the one who stayed when they were drifting. And now that you've stopped, now that you've pulled your energy back, they're unraveling. Let me say this loud for the ones still healing. Their stalking isn't love, it's control. They don't miss you because they want to give more. They miss you because they lost the control they had when you needed them. And now that you don't, they're spiraling in silence. That's not strength. That's emotional chaos. They still talk about you, they still check for you, and yet they act like you were never important. That's the lie they have to tell to survive the guilt. But guilt doesn't stay buried. It leaks through stories, through check-ins, through curiosity they can't admit. You are the echo in their head now, and every move they make proves it. So stop thinking you were forgotten. You weren't. You're just being studied, observed, tracked like a storm they thought they could outrun. But now the storm is peace, and that's what terrifies them the most. You're no longer emotional. You're untouchable. And that glow, that's not for them. That's the light they couldn't handle when it was close. Write this in the comments right now. Their actions expose the truth. Let it burn through every lie they posted. Let it echo in every tap they make on your profile. Let it remind them that you see through it all now. Show them, show yourself, show the world, and stay with me, because what's coming next, It's the part where your silence becomes louder than their denial, and they realize they didn't just lose you. They lost the only version of themselves that ever felt understood. Number 4, your absence is louder than their photos. They keep posting more smiles, more nights out, more new beginnings. But here's what they'll never admit. None of it is landing like your presence did, because your absence, my friend, is louder than all their photos combined. You used to show up. You used to check in. You used to be the warmth in their cold world. You were their calm when everything else was chaos. But now, you've gone quiet. You've gone missing. And that's silence. That's the loudest thing they've ever heard. No matter how many filters they slap on, no matter how curated the moments look, you're the missing piece they can't edit back in, because what they lost wasn't just someone to take cute pictures with. What they lost was energy, connection, soul-level depth. And you can't fake that. You can't replace that with a new body, a new post, or a caption that screams healed but whispers haunted. They're not celebrating, they're compensating. They thought your presence was casual until it disappeared. They thought your attention was guaranteed until it went dark. And now every picture they post is just a shadow compared to what they once had standing right in front of them. You were there when they didn't even ask. You listened when they barely spoke. You held space when they didn't know how to hold themselves. That kind of presence doesn't get erased. It echoes. And the thing about echoes, they show up when the noise fades, when the party ends, when the friends stop clapping. That's when they feel it. That's when your absence punches through the fake piece like a ghost that won't leave. They thought they could just swap you out, get someone else to play your role, smile in the right lighting, pose in the right places. But now they realize your energy wasn't an aesthetic. It was a force. And you don't recreate a force. You lose it, and it haunts you. You weren't just someone in their pictures. You were the reason those moments felt alive. And now the lighting's perfect, but the vibe is dead. The people are there, but the connection isn't, because nobody fills space like the one who gave from the soul. That's what you did. You gave soul, and they gave you scraps. So now, let them dress up the pain. Let them pretend. Let them post. Because the silence you left behind is screaming every time they try to convince themselves they're fine. My friends, stop thinking their pictures are proof they're over you. They're not. They're just terrified someone else will come along and actually appreciate what they couldn't handle. They're afraid your silence means you're not checking anymore. They're afraid you've leveled up without them. And guess what? You have. Because the most dangerous thing you ever did was pull your energy back. And now that you're gone, they're learning that attention is cheap. But presence is priceless. And they let it go. So stop stalking, stop second-guessing, stop wondering if they're happier, because if they were, they wouldn't be performing. You don't post for someone you've forgotten, you post for the one you hope is still watching. And they hope you're watching, but you're not. You've turned inward, you've leveled up, you've gone quiet. And that quiet is thunder to someone who once had your loyalty on demand. Write this in the comments right now. My absence is louder. Let them feel it. Let them scroll through their own feed and see how hollow it is without your energy in the frame. Show them, show yourself, show the world, and stay with me, because what comes next? It's the part where your silence becomes the only thing they hear, and nothing else makes the noise stop. Number 5. You were the anchor, now they're drifting. They thought they let you go, but what they really let go of was their only anchor. You see it now, don't you? The shift, the instability, the chaos creeping into their life, no matter how much they try to mask it with new beginnings and temporary highs. My friends, when you were in their life, they had balance. even if they never said it. You were the one who absorbed the emotional mess, translated their silence into understanding, and turned their chaos into calm. But they got too used to it, too comfortable. And when comfort feels permanent, people get careless. Now look at them, grasping for anything that feels steady, clinging to new people who don't know their history, who won't tolerate what you tolerated. They're floating without a compass, trying to anchor themselves in attention, flings, and fake peace. But nothing feels right. Nothing sticks. Because it's not just about the people around them. It's the absence of the one who made sense of their mess. You were the ground beneath their storms. You were the pause in their spiral. You were the voice of reason when they were drowning in emotion. And now that you're gone, they're drifting, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And they can't admit it. So they pretend. They go louder. They move faster. But every new face is a weak replacement for the stability you brought just by existing. They might not tell their friends, they might not post about it, but late at night when it's quiet and real, that's when the truth screams, that's when they feel it, that's when they realize, damn, they were my anchor. But by then, it's too late. Because the version of you that stayed, that supported, that held it down for two people when they couldn't even hold it down for one, that version of you is gone. And you know what's wild? They never even knew how unsteady they were until you weren't there to catch the fall. They used to lean on you in 1,000 ways they never acknowledged. Emotional support, life advice, a safe space, a second brain when they couldn't think straight. You were the one who calmed the noise, who slowed the storm. And now, they're drowning in waves they used to survive only because you were there to hold the shore. That's why they're drifting, because there is no new version of you waiting in the wings. There is no better coming to rescue them. They had the real thing, and they let it go because they thought you'd always come back. But this time, you didn't. This time, you chose yourself. This time, the anchor broke free from the wreck it was keeping steady. And the ship, it's lost at sea. They'll blame the world, say they're figuring it out, say it's just a phase. But deep down, they know they weren't built to stand without you because you were the one who held it together, quietly, consistently, lovingly. And now, let them feel what happens when that kind of love leaves the room. Write this in the comments right now. I was the anchor. Say it with pride. Let it be a reminder to them, to you, to the world. Your energy was the gift. Your presence was the peace. Your love was the foundation. And now? Now you're building for yourself, solid, steady, and storm-proof. Show them, show yourself, show the world, and stay with me, because what's coming next? It's the part where they realize that what they lost wasn't just a partner. It was their gravity. Number 6, they're not posting for themselves, they're posting for you. They're not healing, they're baiting. Every post, every filter, every new chapter they throw into the world like confetti. It's not for them, it's for you. It's not about growth, it's about control. It's a game of psychological warfare, where the prize is your attention, your reaction, your relapse into the same loop that broke you the first time. Don't fall for it, my friends, because their glow-up, it's staged, their smile, rehearsed, their captions, aimed like arrows at the one person they hope is still watching, you. They're not posting to celebrate anything. They're posting to provoke, to make you feel like you're missing out, to make you question if you were ever special, to make you believe they're happier without you. But look deeper. Healing doesn't announce itself through curated moments and suggestive quotes. Real peace doesn't need validation. Real closure doesn't need a comment section. But guilt does. Regret does. And desperation. Desperation lives for views. You used to text first. You used to care. You used to hold their chaos like it was sacred. And now that you've gone silent, their last weapon is this: performance. They hope you'll crack. They hope you'll react. They hope you'll come crawling back, wondering how they're doing so fine without you. But folks, let's tell the truth. They're not fine. They're acting. Because the silence you've given them, it's choking them. And this online parade? It's the only way they know how to scream, "Please, still see me." Let's break the lie right here. They're not over you. They're not moving on. They're just scared. Scared that you really meant it when you stopped replying. Scared that your absence isn't a pause. It's permanent. And now they're trying to reverse your healing by dangling fake progress in front of your heart. But you're smarter than that, stronger than that. You've been through hell and you didn't crawl back. You walked through the fire and built something new from your own ashes. And that's what makes them panic. They can post all they want, but what they can't copy is your peace. What they can't replicate is your evolution. You didn't need to prove anything. You just moved different, quiet, intentional, powerful, while they blast their insecurities into pixels and pretend it's power. But you know what hurts them the most? When you don't take the bait, when you don't check their page, when you don't view the story, when you don't leave a like or drop a reaction. That's when their illusion starts to crumble. Because the performance only works when the audience is watching. And if you're not there, then who are they really doing it for? Let them post, let them smile, let them perform. Because it's not your stage anymore. You've outgrown the theater. You're not the audience. They are, watching you, studying your silence, trying to decipher how you're so unbothered. And here's the twist. They don't know that your peace is real because it wasn't built to impress them. It was built to protect you. So don't look back. Don't let their timeline become your trap. You're not their prisoner anymore. You're free. And freedom doesn't watch the past. It builds the future. Write this in the comments right now. I won't take the bait. Let it echo through their performance. Let it remind you that their show has no power without your attention. Show them, show yourself, show the world, and stay with me, because what's coming next? It's the moment they realize the only one watching them is the reflection of everything they couldn't keep. Number 7. You're not the one who's watching. They are. They used to think you'd always be there. Easy, available, desperate for scraps. But now you've gone silent, and suddenly you're the one they can't stop watching. They check your page before bed. They scroll your posts in the dark. They stare too long at your smile, trying to decode the peace they never thought you'd find without them. And every new post you drop, it doesn't make them proud. It makes them panic. Because that glow-up isn't theirs to enjoy anymore. It's a front-row seat to the greatest "I told you so" life could ever deliver. My friends, they don't miss you because they've grown. They miss you because they've lost control. They used to have you on a leash, emotionally tied, always waiting, always reacting. But now you post with confidence. You show up with a presence that doesn't ask permission. And what terrifies them most? It's that your evolution doesn't include them. They see the likes you're getting. They read between the lines of your captions. They notice how your energy has shifted from trying to impress them to owning your worth without apology. You became the one who got away. Not because you disappeared, but because you outgrew their games. And now they're the ones refreshing your page, hoping for a sign that maybe, just maybe, you still care. But what they see instead, a version of you they don't recognize anymore, a version that doesn't flinch, doesn't fold, and sure as hell doesn't chase. This is what they never expected. They thought breaking you down would keep you small. They thought rejection would cripple you. They thought cheating or ghosting or disrespect would make you doubt yourself. But instead, you rose. You transformed. You became untouchable. And now every picture you post is a silent reminder that they bet against the wrong soul. Let's be honest, they're not watching because they love you. They're watching because they lost power. They're watching because you no longer need them to validate your existence. And that burns, because people who once saw you as too much start choking when you give that same energy to the world instead of wasting it on them. You're not the one stuck. You're not the one begging. You're not the one scrolling in the dark, searching for meaning in pixels. They are. You became their regret, their mistake, the chapter they thought they could skip, and now wish they could rewrite. But your story kept going. And theirs? It's on a loop of watching what they can never have again. So when you post that picture, when you write that caption, when you move in your new piece, know this: they see it all, and it's driving them insane, because your silence wasn't just an absence, it was a boundary, a line they never thought you'd draw, and now they're outside of it, watching you shine in a world they're no longer invited into. Write this in the comments right now. They're watching me now. Say it with power. Let it be a reminder that you're not the broken one. You're the one they never thought would rise. And now that you have, let them watch. Let them feel it. Let them sit in the silence they created. Show them, show yourself, show the world, and stay with me, because what comes next, it's not your final glow-up. It's just the beginning, because when your energy becomes unreachable, that's when they finally understand what they lost. Number 8. Watch their collapse in silence. Don't rescue them again. You gave them warmth, they threw it away like trash. You gave them your loyalty, and they trampled it for a quick dopamine hit. You showed up with your heart in your hands, and they treated it like a doormat. And now that the silence is real, now that your energy is gone, they're collapsing, quietly, desperately. But here's the part that matters most, my friends. Don't you dare rescue them again. You used to be their emergency contact, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. When their world crumbled, they'd come crying, and you'd hold their pieces together with trembling hands, forgetting that they were the ones who shattered you in the first place. But not this time. This time, you stay still. This time, you let the collapse teach them. Because true power, true healing, it's not found in saving the people who never showed up when you were drowning. It's found in refusing to be their emotional crutch ever again. They chose ego, they chose lies, they chose pride over peace. They picked strangers over substance, games over growth. And now that the lights are out and the audience is gone, they're sitting in silence with the mess they made. And that's exactly where they need to be. You don't interfere with a lesson the universe is trying to teach. Because every time you rescue someone who betrayed you, you train them to believe there are no consequences for throwing away something real. Let them struggle. Let them wonder why their new relationships feel shallow, why they can't find anyone who listens like you did, why no one shows up with the same depth, loyalty, and soul. That confusion, that heartbreak, that hollow pit in their chest. That's the sound of the collapse. But they'll never admit it out loud. No, they'll post, they'll pretend. But inside, it's unraveling, bit by bit. Because when you remove the foundation, the entire facade comes crashing down. And what's your role in all this? Discipline, detachment, silence. The strongest clapback isn't a message. It's not a long paragraph. It's not a final call. It's calm, it's cool, it's quiet. It's your refusal to ever again explain your worth to someone who had it and threw it away. And trust me, they feel that silence. They feel it deeper than your old text messages, deeper than your tears, because now they're the ones being ignored. They're the ones sitting with unread emotions, and it hurts. It burns. They're collapsing. You don't need to scream it. You don't need to prove it. You just need to stay silent long enough for them to hear the echoes of what they destroyed. That's where your power lives now, not in reaction, but in restraint, not in fixing, but in forgetting, because you weren't created to save people from the storms they started. You were made to rise from the ones they left you in. So don't look back. Don't message, don't check in, don't offer closure to someone who gave you confusion. You owe them nothing. Let them sit with their choices. Let them drown in the silence they thought would never come. Because every time they scroll your name and hesitate to reach out, that's the universe whispering, "Not anymore." Write this in the comments right now. I will not rescue them. Let it ring in their ears. Let it echo through their regret. Let it be the final nail in the coffin of a story you've already outgrown. Show them, show yourself, show the world, and stay with me, because what's coming next? It's not a collapse, it's a rise. And this time, you're rising without dragging dead weight behind you. And here's the truth you've been waiting to hear. You were never the weak one. You were the rare one. They fumbled your love, your loyalty, your soul. And now, they're stuck watching you from a distance they created. Let them collapse. Let them regret. But you rise. You rebuild. You reclaim your peace in silence. If this hit your heart, write it in the comments. I will not rescue them. Let them feel it. Let them see it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to remember their worth. Stay rising, my friends.